Hello, welcome to Tokusatsu Thursdays. Today I'm reviewing the 1974 kaiju film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which according to Google, this is the first appearance of Mechagodzilla, which is also called, I forget his name. it's something, QZ Zero or something, Zero or something. I can't remember, but yeah, he has a different name in Japanese, right? The movie is directed by Jun Fukuda and starring Masaaki Daimon, Kazuya Aoyama, Reiko, Tajima, Akihiko Hirata, and Hiromi Matsushita, right? This movie's rated G. It's an hour and 24 minutes. I watched the dub version on Tubi because I was too lazy to go through my movie collection to see if I actually have the first Mechagodzilla movie. I'm not sure if I do. Right. And I was actually surprised about the fact that I'm not going to spoil it, but I will, but not right now. So, yeah, I watched the dubbed version because that was all Tubi had available, right? And the dubbed is pretty much, if you ever watch old kung fu movies, old tokusatsu movies, the dub is very weird. At one point, like, a guy calls Godzilla Godzilla. Like, he put an R at the end of Godzilla, which is like, that's something like the British or like the Australians would do, where they put, like, you know, words that end with A, they sometimes put R at the end. So I'm like, because like those old like Chinese films, like they would get like Australian Australian actors to dub it. So I'm wondering, is this movie dubbed by Australians that they just that were doing half-assed like American accents? That's why these old English dubs always sound weird. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, so the movie, another reason why I don't like to review Godzilla movies, other than the fact that Godzilla movies are almost too mainstream to review on Tokusatsu on a Tokusatsu show. But like the other main reason is the plot for this movie is all over the place. Like, you're following like 3 different sets of characters, right? That are like, you know, somewhat related to each other. Like, you have this I don't know if he's like a construction worker or whatever, but like, yeah, there's like, at the beginning of the movie, there's this shrine priestess and her old grandfather in Okinawa. I think it was Okinawa. Okinawa. Fuck. I can't pronounce it now. I forget how to pronounce it. Whatever. They're in like Okinawa. Whatever. You know, it's like a port city in like Japan, right? And they're like performing some kind of dance at this shrine, right? And like the young lady receives a vision where she sees like Tokyo getting destroyed by a giant monster, which in the footage they showed, it looked like King Ghidorah, but King Ghidorah is not in the movie. So it's like, what the hell? Was it another monster and I just thought it was like King Ghidorah? I don't know, right? But yeah, what happens in the movie is that you have like 2 sets of characters. One's like the nephew of an archaeologist that goes to check out this that's like seals off this like cave, right? During like an earthquake or something. I can't remember why. Right, and this young archaeologist lady shows up that he thought was a reporter, but she's like, "Oh no, I'm actually an archaeologist. I've been sent by the university." And they see all these cave paintings, right? That's supposed to like that has a prophecy about 2 months, like a black mountain showing up in the sky above the clouds is gonna like signal like an apocalypse, right? And like two monsters are supposed to show up to like stop the apocalypse, right? The apocalypse in the form of a monster, right? And like and they also introduce the guardian deity of the people at the shrine, which is like the Azumi family shrine, right? Where the guardian monster is King Caesar, which they pronounce Caesar or whatever, because I guess they thought, oh, it's dumb, like for the for what's supposed to be like an ancient Japanese monster to have like Caesar in its name, so they call it King Caesar or whatever, right? And the King Caesar looks pretty much like a one of those Chinese lion dogs, but when you see him in the movie, even though there's a statue of him where he's like he's a four-legged animal, right? Obviously, because you have a guy in a suit, he's suddenly like a biped, like he a two-foot like 2-foot monster, right? Oh, that's just how it is, right? While that's going on, like you have this one set of characters investigating King Caesar. You have like another group of characters, which is the brother of the guy at the cave, and the daughter of this professor, right? Which they found like a piece of metal called space titanium in a cave, right? And they take it to this professor, right? Which that actor I recognize from the first Godzilla movie. He was like the Zurasawa guy, the guy with the eye patch, right? Which the other professor in the movie, who they take the King Caesar statue to, I think he was the guy, the main character from the second Godzilla movie, right? Godzilla Raids Again, and he was also in the Mothra movie. So you have some reoccurring Godzilla movie actors in the movie, right? Which Toho does a lot, right? I think it's Toho. Yeah, it's Toho. So it's and there's also early on in the movie where Anguirus fights Godzilla, which everybody was like, "What? Anguirus fighting Godzilla? That's weird, right?" Which it was a pretty cool fight. I'm not gonna lie. It was very brutal at the end. I thought Godzilla killed Anguirus by snapping his jaw. His hands were covered in blood, but no, he was just hurt and like crawls away. Which in that fight, it's revealed that like you see a piece of skin, like shiny like where like Anguirus cut him. There's like a shiny piece of metal, right? So it's like, what the hell? And plus I thought he was shooting sparks during the fight. That was weird, but like, oh, later on, the real Godzilla gets like hit with sparks. It turns out that there's a fake Godzilla, right, going to destroy Tokyo, right? And it's called Mechagodzilla, who was created by aliens, who's operating out of the cave, right? Operating out of the cave, right? Which the reveal of Mechagodzilla is actually pretty cool, because it's almost like the Terminator, where Mechagodzilla, which they call him a cyborg in the movie, which is like, oh my god, right? And like, yeah, it's like his reveal where he takes the skin off and is like this cool giant robot. Okay, that was pretty cool. Right, and he can shoot lasers out of his eyes and shoot missiles out of his hands, right? Which is pretty cool. He can also shoot rockets. His tail looks like a giant gun. He never shoots it though, which is weird, right? And Mechagodzilla can fly, and he kind of takes the shape of a plane, right? Very remind me a lot of the Gamera movies. So yeah, like you have Mechagodzilla gets injured in a fight with like Godzilla, and for some reason the aliens, right, needs the professor who discovered the space titanium in their cave to fix Mechagodzilla, which he has no choice to help them when they captured him, his daughter, and her boyfriend, which is the other guy's brother. So you have like the other party has to go and try to figure out how to summon King Caesar, so they can save the, so they can, King Caesar can defeat Mechagodzilla with Godzilla's help, right? Only for the aliens to try to steal the statue, which is the key to freeing him, and they get help from the Interpol agent, right? Which who revealed themselves early on in the movie to be an investigative reporter, right? Or not investigative reporter. He's like he's a scandal hunter, right? He makes money like printing like scandalous stories or whatever, or something like that. he told him, which it turns out that was all bullshit. So yeah, the finale of the movie, they have to rescue the professor, stop the aliens, and you have the big freeway fight between Mechagodzilla, King Caesar, and Godzilla. Which King Caesar, it was the fight was mostly Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Like King Caesar barely helped in my opinion, but yeah, another problem I have with the movie is the laser eye beams, which is obviously rotoscoping effects. For people who don't know what rotoscoping effects, how they used to do laser blasts back in the day before they had CGI, whatever, is that an animator would draw the lasers on the film, on the film, literally on the film roll, right? And like that's how they would do it. So like the same colored laser beams that Mechagodzilla has, King Caesar also fucking has. So it's like they couldn't make the laser eye beams different. And also, Mechagodzilla has a new power in the movie where he can make himself magnetic, right? Like positive and negative, because he yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna go. I forgot to mention the aliens when they are killed, they look like lizard ape men. I'm not joking. They turn into lizard ape men when they're killed, which is like, oh. And I gotta say, I love like the one thing that was cool in the movie when like obviously Godzilla beats Mechagodzilla, right? Which is a pretty cool, brutal fight. I like that the main villain, his eyes watered up to the point where like he looked like he was going to cry. I thought that was a nice, that was a nice, touch. So I'm just gonna go to likes and dislikes for the movie. By the way, there's scenes in the movie where there's the Japanese characters sing in Japanese, right? And for some reason, the subtitles didn't think to translate what the singer was singing, unless she was saying Caesar. So, then the subtitles would put Caesar up on the screen every time she would say that line. So I'm like, what the fuck? Literally the only fucking thing we could understand, they put the fucking subtitle on. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That was fucking dumb as fuck. So yeah, I'm just gonna go on my likes and dislikes. I liked, even though the plot was convoluted, I liked the story. The story was good. The action was good. Not just the human on human fights. You know what I mean. But also the fights with the monsters. The fights are pretty brutal. There's lots of blood. There's points where like Godzilla, Ghidorah, blood are like you see blood found and squirting out of their fucking necks and shit. Yeah, the fights are pretty brutal, which is cool. Right. I liked Mechagodzilla design. Keep in mind this was the 70s, so it's very obviously it's very simplified compared to later Godzilla movies where they updated Mechagodzilla's design, but for his first appearance he does look cool, right? And yeah, I like the action. The music was okay. Now I'm just gonna go my likes and dislikes. I don't like. I didn't like how the aliens. these old sci-fi movies, they always make the aliens wear like silver jumpsuits. It's like, at least they made them when they were killed. They showed like, oh yeah, they're not human. They just appear a little human. So okay, that was cool. What was it? What was my other dislikes? Oh, I was not a fan of the actual suits for the monsters. I think they were using the older costumes. They didn't make new costumes for this movie, which I think after the 80s they start to update Godzilla's costume, I think. But yeah, his costume looked pretty much like they did for the previous, like, you know, they look like pretty much the same costumes that they were using for the last 20 years. Keep in mind, it's been a while since I've seen the older Godzilla movies, so I could be wrong, but it just looked like that way to me. I don't know. Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the movie, and I would say, you know, it's a good movie. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Right? And yeah, the movie's like only an hour 27 minutes, so it breezes by, right? Which I don't know if the sub version would be longer, because sometimes for the dub versions they do tighten up the movie. So I would look into that if you're looking for which one to pick. I did think the dub for this movie was kind of funny in a bad way. But overall, enjoyed the movie, 7 out of 10. And I don't know what the fuck we're gonna review next week. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we'll go, because I think it's too soon to review Kamen Rider 01 movie, right? But I don't know. We'll figure something out for next week, which I'm gonna be. I think at some point this weekend I'm gonna be finished watching Tetsuo 28. So that means I'll be watching Ultraman Orb soon, and hopefully that review will be up in like 2 weeks or so. Maybe I'll take a break from Tokusatsu Thursdays, and we'll come back with the Ultraman Orb review. I don't know. We'll see. That's if you guys have any suggestions for Tokusatsu movies to review on the channel, let me know. Especially try to pick stuff. If you could pick stuff on Tubi, because there's lots of Tokusatsu stuff on there, that would be great. But I do have lots of, you know, Godzilla movies and stuff I could review on the channel. So yeah, like maybe suggest some stuff. I don't know. Peace.